everybody. You are listening to Radio Unfriendly. I am your host, Steve.
And I am your host, Scott. And this is the music podcast where we bring you music that we think you should be listening to that you are unlikely to find on the radio. How's it going, Steve?
It's going great. And yes, we've got a great batch of songs to play today. Some really cool stuff, as always, of course.
I'm excited here because
Yeah.
I think a couple of these are just hilarious. So this is like the hilarious song list for me.
I've got some interesting stuff. I've got a couple of bands from Grand Rapids, which now that I'm thinking about it, this is the first time we've done an episode since my move.
Nice.
Yeah.
Represent the locals there.
Yeah. So if you remember from last episode, I moved from Oklahoma to Michigan. I don't live in Grand Rapids. I live kind of northwest of Grand Rapids, but that's like the biggest, city near me. I was actually
so now you have lakes in every direction, huh?
Oh yeah, we're like right around the corner, literally, from Lake Michigan.
Awesome.
Like I pull out of my driveway and then I go around the corner and bam, there's the lake.
That's nice.
It's pretty nice, yeah. But yeah, I was actually in Grand Rapids Friday night. Me and Mandy went and saw a wrestling event.
Fun.
So that was a lot of fun. Yeah, it was a good show. And then, but it's really nice. I like Michigan.
So I know you're a big wrestling fan. Do you have to learn all the wrestlers there, or are you familiar somehow already?
We actually went to, I watch, primarily I watch AEW wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the event we went and saw.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the AEW came to Grand Rapids, so we went and watched that.
Gotcha. I was thinking you were watching some locals, maybe.
I haven't hooked into the local wrestling community yet, so I don't know what is local here yet. I have been to a couple of local shows. As far as music shows, but not any local wrestling yet. In fact, one of the shows that I saw is one of the bands I'm going to play today was at that show.
Great. That's really cool.
Yeah, so that was good. And but yeah, wrestling I haven't hooked into the local scene yet. We're actually
Takes
going.
A while.
Yeah. We're actually going down to Chicago on Labor Day weekend to see AEW as well.
Right on. So how far to Chicago is it for you?
It's about 3 hours ish, give or take. It's not a bad drive actually.
Not terrible.
I went down there a couple weekends ago to a Star Wars convention.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I was representing Rogue One Radio, which is my other kind of nerd Star Wars podcast. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. I don't know if you've ever been to Chicago, but Chicago's aside from Seattle, because Seattle's one of my favorite towns. But Chicago is a pretty close second, if not tied. Chicago, I really like. I don't know if you've been there, but it's a really fun city to be in.
Yeah, so I did. I went there for work one week, and it was in the middle of January. It was like 4 degrees.
Yeah.
But I got to hang out a bit there. I liked it. I had to work during the day, but I'd go and see the Bean or go over to I went to the Goose Island brewery while I was there. Yeah. Saw the stadium.
It's a cool place. My dad actually grew up just south of Chicago, so I spent a lot of summers there. So I know the Chicago area pretty well, and I've been there a lot. But I was actually there for a concert I don't think we've done a show since saw that concert. Because I went up there. I was still in Oklahoma, and I flew up there to see the Methadones.
Yeah. Did we talk about that? I think
I
we
don't.
might have actually talked about it. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did because I
Yeah.
talked about the amusing uh, crowd antics. There was the three
That's right.
girls,
Yeah.
the three girls that were like just amusing. Yeah, okay, I remember that. But yeah, so I went up there then, and then but yeah, we went up there. I went over there with a Star Wars convention, and then we're going to be going again for AEW All Out Labor Day weekend. Um,
Nice.
and then we're going again like a couple of weeks later to go to Riot Fest.
Man, you got a jam-packed schedule there.
Yeah, we do. But
That's a lot more than I have going on.
but Riot Fest is going to be a lot of fun. I'll definitely have to talk about that when we do another episode after that one is completed. But today, in addition to the cool music we're going to be playing, we're going to be talking about movies. Movies about music and musicians specifically.
Yeah, I've got a few good ones to share with everybody. Just
Yeah,
movies I think that if you haven't seen them, they're definitely worth checking out.
yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing what you have picked to talk about. Um, but I
Yeah,
guess
for those listening, we're surprising each other on this episode. So we might
yes,
even pick some of the same. We don't know. We'll find out.
it's possible. You don't know. Um, but before we jump into that, let's go ahead and play a tune or a couple actually. Um, you, I think let's go with one of yours first. Let's do
Yeah.
this first that's on your list.
Awesome. Yeah. Okay, good. So this is just starting out with the humor. This is a band called Personal and the Pizzas, and it was reissued by Slovenly Records just this year, but this was originally released in 2010. So check it out.
Hey, we're Personal and the Pizzas. I'm Personal, and this here's my band, the Pizzas. And we're gonna play a couple tunes for you tonight. The first one's called I Don't Wanna Be No Personal Pizza. Right, you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't wanna be no personal pizza. I just wanna live my life. I don't wanna eat no personal pizza. Baby, give me just one slice. Pepperoni, red sauce, mozzarella cheese. Stick it in the oven at 100 degrees. Pizza, pizza. I don't wanna be no personal pizza. I just wanna live my life. I don't wanna eat no personal pizza. Baby, give me just one slice. Pepperoni, red sauce, mozzarella cheese. That's the way a pizza's supposed to be. Pizza, pizza, pizza,
Okay, so that was interesting. That was really that was really humorous. I see what you get when you talk about the humor. It's like man, it's like the Ramones singing about pizza.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't think we mentioned the title there. So that's I Don't Want to Be No Personal Pizza
Oh
by
yeah.
Personal and the Pizzas. Yeah, so these guys, so let me tell you what's going on with this band. It's very obviously like a Weird Al-esque kind of thing because half the songs on their albums are just literally a Ramones tune or a Stooges tune with different lyrics.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And if you look at the cover art too, it's very comical.
Yeah. I'm looking at the Bandcamp page.
Yeah. Check out our website or our podcast page if you're listening to this, because you'll be able to see the cover in the embed.
Yeah, we'll put the link to Bandcamp in the show notes. But yeah, the cover art's very, very comical and very pizza related.
Right.
And it says here that you can buy the record, like the vinyl, in pizza sauce red.
That's right. That's right. That was genius. I think that they did that.
Yeah. Looks like there's a song on here called Pizza Army. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, man. Any fan of pizza, this is an album you should have on hand.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, speaking of pizza, the pizza up here in Michigan is really good.
Is it different somehow? Like, is there a regional variation?
Yeah.
What's the variation?
Well, there's certain places that have like the deep dish, kind of like Chicago.
Yeah.
But I haven't had any of that. I had pizza like the night that we pulled in to town. We had some from a place called Northside Pub.
Mm-hmm.
Which, see, and that's another thing. There's a lot of like bar and grill tavern like places that have really good food here.
Nice.
So we had pizza from Northside Pub the first night I was here, and that was really good. And then there was another bar and grill type place called the Red Rooster Tavern, and their pizza was really good. And then, okay, so you're going to find this a little odd, but stick with me.
Okay.
So one of the main like gas station, convenience store chains here is called Wesco, Wesco.
Yeah, I think I've heard of it.
And they have pizza. They make pizza there. And you would not think that gas station pizza would be good. But it really is. Like Wesco pizza. It's
all right. I'll have to remember that if I ever drive through, that I can get good pizza on the go.
Yeah, and you can get it by the slice, or you can buy like a full pizza.
Yeah,
it's good stuff. So that was a fun song. So let's talk about my first pick.
Yeah,
this is a band from Grand Rapids. They are called Mooch Globe. And they don't have any albums out yet. Everything they've released on Bandcamp is a single. Or at least I have not seen an actual album. At least it's not on Bandcamp. So if I go see them, like I the first time I went to a show here in Grand Rapids, they were one of the bands that played at that show, and it was pretty good. But I actually had listened to this band before I went and saw them. So yeah, I don't know if they've got any albums, but this single was released in October of 2021, and the song is called Anxiety.
Sounds fun.
what did you think of that?
Yeah, so I think out of the set of songs here, I might like that one the most. It's got some good anger. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can feel it. So like that's kind of what I'm looking for in punk of this nature. I'm looking for like that authentic anger or energy, you know.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of energy. Personally, I think listening to them live is better
Yeah, I can imagine.
than the recording, because you can feed off of what they're doing, and I don't know if you could hear it on the recordings as well as listening to them live, but the guitar player is really he's really good for what he does. He's got a very interesting style. And if you're ever in Grand Rapids and you get a chance to see this band, you just have to go see them. So, because I don't think you can understand it based on the recordings. I feel like he was holding back on the recordings.
Gotcha.
But live, he was like so much better.
Yeah, I noticed something cool about their bio. They just wrote growl, hiss, snap, piss.
Yeah. So
I love it too because, like you said, they've only had singles put up, and they put the same cover on all of it. So it's like they can't even be bothered. They're not like doing this to market, you know. They're just like, they must just love playing live and like ripping up a room, you know.
Exactly. Yeah, marketing is definitely not their thing, but
it's awesome.
Definitely check these guys out. They're really fun to listen to.
Love that.
All right.
Movies now.
I guess we got some movies to talk about. So, you want to go first?
Okay. So the first movie I wanted to bring up has always been my favorite movie about music.
Okay.
And that is Hype with an exclamation point. It's about the Seattle scene during, the late 80s and early 90s, and how quote unquote grunge came about, and then how it was ruined by, corporate marketing and all that stuff. So have you ever seen this one?
I have. I'm surprised this was not on my list.
The reason it hit me so hard is because it's one of the first actual music documentaries that I ever saw, like, in my whole life. So I was in high school when I saw this. It came out while I was in high school, in '96. Yeah. And I think I picked up a copy somehow, like at the local Blockbuster. And I immediately bought the soundtrack to this, and I still have that around somewhere here, the CD, and just like, it's also part of why I wanted to move up to Seattle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah, that's a good pick. Man, I can't remember when I saw that movie, but I remember that I really liked it because, like, music documentaries are fun to watch. Those and music biopics. I like to watch music biopics.
Yeah. Let's talk about one of yours, speaking of.
Okay. So, this is a biopic. This movie was released in 1979, and I remember watching it on TV. Like this was prior to the cable thing, I guess, for us anyway.
So you were moving rabbit ears around trying to get the best reception.
Exactly. But this is one of the first. This has got to be the first biopic that I ever watched because 1979. I was still pretty young. But it probably will not surprise you about the band that it's about. But the name
Black
of the movie.
Flag.
No.
Okay.
The name of the movie was Birth of the Beatles.
Oh, okay. I have not seen this.
Okay. It was I think I have a DVD. You remember? Oh man, remember the time that you and I were roaming around the university district? Kind of. It was shortly after Jessica passed, and you and I were just kind of like
going to used CD shops
just leaving, just kind of getting me out of the house kind of thing. And we spent like all day at the university district. And remember, I bought a couple of DVDs. This was one. And then the other one was a box set of the Beatles cartoon.
Oh, cool. I love that Beatles cartoon. Like,
yeah.
What do they call it? Is it just
I think it's just called cartoon? The Beatles. I think it's just called the Beatles.
Yeah.
But the birth of the Beatles is basically it focuses on their years in Germany.
So is this early on? They have the other drummer. What's his name? Pete Best?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts off, this was kind of, most of it is prior to Ringo coming in. But during the movie he does come in. But this is good, and this is, like I said, probably the first biopic I ever watched.
I definitely have some homework now because I don't think I've seen this.
Yeah,
I've seen other documentaries about the Beatles, but not this one that I remember.
Obviously not a punk band, so I'm not sure if we really should be talking about this on the show, but the Beatles, of course, are a big.
I think they're an influence to lots of punk bands.
Yeah, and I mean, just at least for me, music in general, that's kind of what I grew up listening to before I got into punk.
Yeah, man. I mean, Helter Skelter. That's a punk song.
Yeah.
Probably birthed punk and metal. I don't know. Or helps to.
Yeah, might be.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we've got some more movies to talk about, but why don't we jump in and play some more tunes?
All right, let's hit this job insecurity song. So here's a band out of Germany called Aldiost, and this song here is Job Insecurity. Check it out. So that was Job Insecurity by Aldiost. What do you think of that one, Steve?
Yeah, so I got some Black Flag vibes from it.
Yeah.
Very very hardcore-esque.
What about Kennedy's, maybe? I thought the vocal style kind of reminded me.
Yeah, I can now that you mention it, I can hear that as well. So was this on a
It's a self-titled release. So this is on Phantom Records. And Phantom Records at least is out of Germany, so I'm just thinking the band probably is too. Plus there's a song called Berlin on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, you could get it on cassette. We talked about cassettes.
Yeah, we did.
Making a comeback. They have a cassette for sale up there. So
Interesting. I mean, that's be interesting to see. I just did a Google search on this band. They are from Berlin.
Okay, right on.
That's who he sounds like. Yes, okay, so there's a review of the cassette on MaximumRockandRoll.com.
Mm-hmm.
And
great zine.
And they mentioned that he sounds a bit like Keith Morris. Definitely. Okay, I definitely hear that. Yeah.
I hear that.
Yeah.
Speaking of, there is a new Off record. We never talked about that. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. I don't actually listen to a lot of Off.
Yeah, I don't either, actually, because now it's just like kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
At least what I've heard.
Now,
it's called Free LSD. That's the new. I don't know if it's even out yet, but I remember seeing the news on that.
The Circle Jerks were supposed to play in Dallas back in May with 7 Seconds.
Man, that didn't happen somehow?
It didn't happen because Keith got COVID.
Oh.
And I've never seen Circle. Well, I haven't seen Circle Jerks or 7 Seconds live. But 7 Seconds are going to be a Riot Fest, so I'll get to see them then.
Right
but
on.
Yeah, that's that's
Keith Morris
stuff.
Is great, but check out All the Yost.
Yeah, definitely. I wanna definitely check out that album, and it just came out recently, didn't it?
Yeah, this All the Yost self-titled album. I think it came out in April, maybe.
Okay. Yeah.
I gotta look here. Let's see. What does it say? It says April 1st.
April. Okay, so this is
brand new.
Fairly new. Yeah. This song that I'm going to play is not new. It actually came out last June, and this is another band from Grand Rapids. This band is called Bitter Truth, and they put out an album in June 2021 called Perfect World, and I don't know if they're on a label. I actually bought the vinyl.
Oh, cool.
It is. It's Patient Zero Records.
Nice.
Yeah. So this song is the opening track from Perfect World, and it's called Intro/Numb. All right. So, what do you think of Bitter Truth?
I was so with hardcore, I like listen to the lyrics.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me. That's what I do. But I really was like, feeling this whole situation. He's like talking to someone who's just like lies about him, like backstabs, that's what it feels like. And I was like, oh man, who can't relate to this? Like everybody gets in that situation at some point. And so that was nice. And also I gotta say, I don't know who did their cover art, but it's good too. Like that's really great cover art.
Yeah, it's I'm looking at the vinyl here. The cover art is done by Cameron Klingenberg.
All right, shout out to Cameron. I just love that big boot coming at you. Like there's action in that drawing,
Yeah. So I got to be honest, I typically don't listen to this kind of hardcore typically. But something about this band kind of grabbed me. It was actually the band was recommended to me by my sister-in-law.
Well, okay, I don't want to like necessarily put down any particular label or whatever, but a lot of stuff that I hear these days called hardcore, I'm just like it like has the form but not the substance to me. Like it's got double kick and it's got like really distorted guitars and someone shouting, but then I'm just like, but you're like, you live in LA and make a lot of money.
What though, it just reminds me, at some point in time we ought to do an episode about genres.
We should. That'll be so fun. But I mean, gosh, we would have to limit it down somehow. There's too many.
Like I have thoughts about certain genres and we'll have to talk about that. But let's play another tune. You've got another one to play.
Yeah. So this next song here, this song is from a band that popped up in my Bandcamp stream, and I've started following them because I really like the vibe and also the influences. I'll let the song play first though, but this is called this is the band The Battle Beats from Indonesia with Rest in Piss. Okay, that was Rest in Piss by the Battle Beats.
Okay, so the name of the song, of course, very, very interesting. Wow. I kind of garage punk.
Yeah, exactly. You can hear. So I read an interview, and this is a one-man band, by the way. I think I should mention that.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it's recorded like in his bedroom he's just got like a floor tom and a snare drum, and then a 15-watt little amp. And he's explicitly says like this is trying to be like those Retards, Teen Generate, Persuaders, those kinds of bands, and I think he just nails it.
That is, yeah, because it's so simple.
Right, exactly. And that's the whole thing.
But yeah, really, really good. Man, I can't believe that's one guy.
I know.
Interesting. Like, just very, very, just something very natural about the playing, and it's the guitar work is really. I mean, it's kind of like real simple progressions, but
yeah, he's got the little bend in there. Like,
yeah,
that's really nice.
Yeah. I was
little
gonna
touch.
say, he's got some nice little touches in there. When did this come out?
Yeah, so this just came out. It came out at the end of June. This is off of like their first 7-inch, and they have like, I don't know that they ever did any vinyl before this. I don't think they did, but they have like 2 other, not really full length albums, but digital albums that are up with like 8 or 10 songs each.
Yeah. So Indonesia. This is what's coming out of Indonesia. Wow.
Yeah, you gotta love it, right?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we definitely need to listen to the rest of this EP. At least I do. Very interesting stuff.
Yeah, check it out. So what do you got next?
Oh, I was gonna say, I was just thinking, man, I'm really glad with like some of the stuff that we get out there. Like, where else are they gonna hear stuff like this?
Oh yeah,
like
right.
How are these people getting heard? I mean,
this what this podcast is all about, isn't it? Right? Like these discoveries,
exactly.
And we live in a world now where, here we are, worlds apart or states apart, and we can hear music from a world apart. So really cool.
Yeah. It's very cool. So this is this band is a little different. Out of they're just a little bit different than what we've normally played on here, but they're from South Florida. They're called the Darling Fire, and I don't remember how these guys popped up on my radar. I think it may have just been Bandcamp, like you were mentioning this other band. They just popped up on my, hey, listen to this band, or it might have been like on a Spotify release radar type thing. It was one of those that were like, here, listen to this song.
And this isn't even released yet, right? This is a pre-order.
The album itself doesn't come out until August 16th, but the single that we're going to play here, actually I don't remember when it came out, but it's the single is out. But the song is called Machina, and this is from the album, the upcoming album Distortions, and it is being released on Iodine Recordings. So here you go, check it out. Yeah. So
Wow.
thoughts?
It's unique. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I'm not well versed enough in this genre, but I don't think I've heard anything quite like that. Deftones is the closest thing that comes to mind.
It's like it's kind of punk, but more indie rock. I mean, they've got like an indie.
Did you read the little bio on this? It really caught my eye because it says that there's members of Shai Hulud and Further Seems Forever, and those are bands I used to listen to.
Yeah.
I'm not familiar with the other bands that it lists. So it also lists Rocking Horse Winter and As Friends Rust. But this totally sounds different than all those bands. Like, I think they have something their own here.
It's very unique. It's got, I mean, like I said, it's got like kind of a somewhat punk feel to it, but it's more indie in nature, and
it's kind of haunting and like,
like slightly, like just a touch, like a mild touch of like maybe some shoegaze in there.
Right, yeah. Well, what I liked about it was it kind of transported me to a different headspace. Like, I was like, oh, now I'm in this other landscape in my head,
Yes. So we'll get to hear the rest of that album here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, maybe we could revisit even with one of these other songs, because that's pretty cool.
Yeah, good stuff. All right. Well, let's talk some more. Let's talk some more music, or I mean, some more movies.
Let's do it. So you should go first this time.
Okay, I'll go first. So this is not of the four that I picked. This is the one that is actually not a biopic. All of mine, other than this, are biopics. This is actually a fictional. It's a comedy. It is called Losers Take All.
Losers Take All. Also another one I haven't seen.
Yeah, and it's a comedy, a fictional comedy about, of course, a fictional punk band, and they're in a couple of the guys, the main characters are in college, or were in college until they dropped out and decided to start up a punk band. And it's kind of the rise of these guys just playing in a garage, up to kind of their rise in indie popularity.
Interesting.
And it's like the IMDb. Here's the summary on IMDb. Chosen by the man himself, the Kevin Smith Movie Club presents Losers Take All. A band is given the chance of committing the ultimate sin, selling out. They must decide if they'll stick to their roots or give in to corporate rock.
Wow. Wow.
But Dave Brown, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's the one that recommended this movie to me. And
so a question real quick. What era is this movie taking place in?
I want to say like early 90s. Because they mention like the Replacements and and Husker Du.
Maybe late 80s, early 90s.
Actually, I think it was mid 80s, because one of the so the drummer and the lead guitarist of this band in the movie are actually like metalheads. And they just like the singer and the bass player kind of stumble upon these guys and get them to join their band, and they're like really big like Van Halen fans, and they were talking about the new album 1984.
Okay.
And so
right on.
So definitely like I think mid 80s.
Very cool.
So yeah, definitely give that one a check out, and we'll have the link for that in the show notes as well. All of these.
Too cool. Another one to put on my list.
Yeah. All right.
So,
well, what's your next one?
I've got one. I'm sure you've seen it. It's a band called Death. Have you seen this?
A band called Death? No.
Check it out, man. Okay, so the way I found it was just someone had uploaded it to YouTube, and I think it's still there. So this is, oh man, it's so crazy. So it's in the Detroit area in the 70s. There's a band, right? And it's a trio, and they were playing punk and recorded an album in 1976, or in like 1970, like late 1975.
Yeah.
And it never got put out, which the movie goes over like why. They almost got signed to, I think it was Capitol Records, but then it never got put out. So they just like put it in a box and moved on with their lives. And they did like a small pressing themselves, and it got rediscovered in, I guess, the mid 2000s. I don't remember the exact right now, like when it happened, but everybody's like, hey, wait a minute, there was this band like before the Ramones playing punk, and it's actually really good. And so they go through the whole documentary, like, how did that happen? How was this band completely unrecognized until now? And the band, as a result of this documentary, or not necessarily as a result of the documentary, but as a result of being rediscovered, they're like all in their 60s now, and they got back together and did like a small tour.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's definitely awesome. I mean, I'll definitely have to check out the movie, but I mean, check out the band as well. I've never heard of these guys. That's,
you know what? I think they're on Bandcamp too.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's really good. I actually really like the music.
Very interesting. That there's a band out there that was, like you said, prior to the remote. Oh yeah. Okay. So I'm seeing I'm looking at the trailer on IMDb, and it's like before the Ramones, before the Sex Pistols. Yeah. Interesting.
I just I had to look this up because I remember I saw this before. So if you go to deathfromdetroit.bandcamp.com, that's where you can get the music. Maybe we'll play one in a future episode.
Yeah. Very cool. So speaking of the Sex Pistols,
yes, sir.
My next choice is the 1986 movie Sid and Nancy.
Oh man, what a story!
Yeah, so I mean, essentially, it's mostly, obviously, based on the title. It's focused on Sid Vicious and Nancy Spungen, but it was kind of had there was like definitely some history of the Sex Pistols in there.
Yeah.
But I think this may have been the first movie that I saw Gary Oldman in.
Oh, that's right. He plays Sid Vicious.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he did a really good job in this movie, but he's a really good actor. He's done some really good stuff.
Yeah, but I've never seen a bad role for him.
Yeah. But so it's about one of the bass players for the Sex Pistols, and he actually was not that good a bass player. Musician for that matter. But
I mean, that wasn't the point. But
yeah, he was there because of the look that they wanted, the style. But yeah, so basically another biopic.
There's lots of drugs in this movie. It's hard to watch.
Yeah. But still pretty good. So, there was a movie that actually just came out. I don't want to go into detail about it, but it is another biopic. But the Elvis movie just came out recently. There were a lot of drugs in that movie too.
Yeah. I can imagine. What's the name of the Elvis movie? Do you know?
It's just called Elvis.
Oh, Elvis. Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't even heard of that, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I don't pay enough attention, I guess.
It came out toward the end of June, and me and Jay went and saw it after I moved here. Yeah, actually a really good movie.
I looked it up. It's Baz Luhrmann. That must be interesting. That actually kind of makes me want to watch it.
Yeah, it's good. It's worth checking out. It's kind of long, kind of on the long side, but it's still good. What's your second movie? Your next movie pick?
Let's see. I've got a couple more here, but I wanted to mention another movie I saw recently. So it had been on my list to see for a long time, and I just never got around to it. So this is a bit belated, but I actually watched this year, even though it came out in 2013. But it is Filmage, the story of Descendants / All.
Oh yeah.
And the thing
not on my list. Gosh.
Oh, it's so good, right?
It really is.
My favorite part about it was like the peek behind the curtain at the difference between All and Descendants and the fan like reception to each band, So they like go into that pretty well and like interview all the band members about it. And
don't get into that discussion with Dave, because it's a sore spot for him.
I know, right? Well, the world is upside down. Like, there are things in this world, and obviously that's what this podcast is about, right? That just don't get the appreciation that they actually deserve.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, this great.
I'm a fan of both bands, so.
Well, yeah, same here. Wow, yeah, I'm surprised that didn't make it on my list.
I'm glad I brought that up.
I'm glad that you brought it up. Yeah, that was a great movie. Do you own this one?
No, the way I watched it was like Amazon Prime, I want to say. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a copy of this.
I should have a copy. I don't know. I don't really do physical copies anymore of movies.
Yeah, understandable.
Maybe I should.
This one in particular, I had to have a physical copy of. But yeah, really, really great movie. Yeah, very, very good, and really well done.
Really well done. Yeah, I was surprised.
All right. Well, we've got some more tunes to play. So there's a band from Toronto, Canada, called the Flatliners, and I've been listening to them for a few years, and I really like their stuff. And they just released a new album just a couple of days ago, August 5th. And I'd actually heard this song a few weeks ago, because they released the song prior to the release of the album. But the album is called New Ruin. And like I said, it was released August 5th. I'm not sure what label it's on. Let me pull up the Bandcamp. And Bandcamp doesn't have I'm not sure what label it's on. But let's go ahead and listen to this. This is from New Ruin by the Flatliners. The song is called Performative Hours.
But I
So there you have it. Performative Hours by the Flatliners.
It's impressive. I'm not joking, but it sounds funny. But I'm impressed that they worked in the phrase performative hours that well.
Yeah.
Like that's a mouthful right there.
It is. It is.
But yeah, I heard this song actually before I knew you picked it, and I almost put it on the list.
Oh yeah.
I was this close to adding this in, so I'm glad you did. Yeah, everyone should check out this band, and the whole album's up for streaming here. It all sounds as good as this.
It's all amazing. Like this band is just it's just one of those bands that you have to listen to.
I think they're really good musicians. I mean, everything here, not only the performance but the composition is just, it's great, man. Yeah. I couldn't play like that.
No, I couldn't. Man, yeah, this is. I was really looking forward to this album coming out. The last album they put out, I want to say it's been at least 2 years.
Yeah, I haven't heard the name The Flatliners in a bit.
Like, man, I can't. I'm going through their Bandcamp and to see
it's been a moment.
What other albums they have put out.
I wonder if they maybe went on a hiatus or something even.
No, not necessarily. Oh, okay. 2017 was the last album prior to this. Okay, so that's a single. They did put out an EP in 2018. It was a 3-song EP, another really good album. I mean, it was an EP. It's a 3-song EP. It was called Masked Candescents. But prior to that, 2017's Inviting Light was their last full length.
Mass Candescence? Okay, they just like the big words, I think.
Yeah, but yeah,
awesome,
really good stuff to listen to. Definitely worth checking out.
Now, I've never really followed this band that close. I thought they were more of a ska band before at some point.
Somewhat, yeah. Some of their stuff was.
At least, yeah, the stuff I heard, like mixed in.
But
maybe more of that rancid sound.
Yeah, but I didn't really get into them until kind of their post ska days. I didn't get into them really until fairly recently, like right about the time Inviting Light had come out. I got into them right about the same time I got into another band. Actually, no, I may have got a hold of this band later. There's a band from Belgium called FOD. And they're really amazing. I should play one of their songs on here. The last album they put out was in 2020, so I've been trying to stick to newer stuff for the most part, but sometimes we just need to throw something in there. But when I first started getting into Flatliners, I kind of got them mixed up with FOD, or vice versa. I would get FOD mixed up with Flatliners, but because they're also like really amazing musicians.
Awesome.
But yeah, I think on the next show I'm going to play an FOD song because there's some stuff on there that really needs to be heard. But speaking of being heard, you've got another song. Let's hear it.
Cool. Yeah. This next song is called The Stilted Zipper Ripper Offer by The Minor Inconveniences. Check it out. And that was the Minor Inconveniences from the March release called Assorted Horseshit Volume 3, March Madness Single 22.
So, okay.
It's ridiculous.
It is. So I'm having, at first I'm having trouble getting past the name of the song and the name of the album because it's just hilarious.
Yeah.
So is this like a split or is this actually the name of their album?
It's actually the name. So yeah, I don't know what's really going on here, but there's 3 of these. So there's the Assorted Horseshit Volume 1, Assorted Horseshit Volume 2, and 3.
And then before that, they have
singles. I don't know. Like,
okay.
Like each of these has between like 4 and like 2 and 4 songs. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So they actually, yeah, I'm looking at Bandcamp, and all 3 of these were recorded or released this year.
Yeah. And so it's a one-man band, another one.
Oh, wow.
Amazing, right? Actually, I'm looking back. They have more tracks on some, which is nice because they're all like 20 seconds, 50 seconds, etc. like that one. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
so
this is
it's not original, but it's just like impressive that it's like this one guy.
Yeah, it's not, I mean, there's nothing super special about it, but it's fun to listen to.
Yeah.
And I'm reading the bio on Bandcamp, and it's, I definitely get the lo-fi feel from it. But I love this line here. It says, "To be played as loud as possible on the shittiest speakers available."
So you know what's good? They have one on one of these Assorted Horseshit releases where it's called Beef Wellington is a fucking scam, and it's just about him trying to buy beef Wellington.
Okay.
It's just literally, it's like nothing else. The lyrics are just all about how it's hard to drive around and find a good price on beef Wellington, which is hilarious.
That's it looks like on volume 1 he's got a song just called Grocery Shopping.
Yep.
This is just some guy talking about his days.
Just going through his days.
It's hilarious. It looks like he's got another EP out that came out in 2021 called The Airing of Grievances.
Yep.
And then, oh geez, I'm looking at the first release from 2020. The name of this, Acid Scum and Other Ass Banging Hits. This guy is
a good turn of phrase.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, he's okay. Well, very interesting.
Good for a laugh.
Yeah, definitely. I'll have to go back and listen to these other ones that were released earlier this year, and just to kind of see where he's coming from. But yeah, really, really fun stuff. Good way to end the music section of today's episode. But we got a couple other movies to talk about until we wrap things up. So why don't you go ahead and take another turn?
Sure. Yeah. So the last one here that I wanted to mention is the decline of Western civilization, which any fan who's into hardcore punk from LA in the 80s, or the LA area, I should say, you should check it out. I guess it goes a little bit into like, well, no, it doesn't really go outside the area. So there's no Minor Threat here, but it's just covering, like Black Flag, Circle Jerks, X, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So I actually didn't put this on my list because I thought you would.
Nice. You guessed correctly.
I did, yeah. And really, really good movie. It had a sequel that was about metal, but Yeah, not nearly as interesting as this one.
Did you know there's actually 2 sequels?
I did not.
Yeah, there's a third one which most people never heard of or seen, but it's more about like homeless youth in LA.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was good. It had bands like Black Flag and X and
Fear.
Fear.
Yeah.
Yeah, it didn't, like you said, it didn't get into any of the West Coast stuff, and it didn't even get into any like the Bay Area stuff.
Right.
But yeah, definitely, if you've never checked this movie out, it's definitely worth checking out.
All that stuff was happening when I was a baby, basically. So
Yeah.
it was really good to get my education of like, where did this music come from that I got into in high school? Because, me getting into punk, it was like the first time I heard Green Day, which is probably like what happened to a lot of kids. And I was like, oh, I like this so much better than everything else. Like before that, I was probably listening to like Billy Joel and Aerosmith just because it's what it was on the radio. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So then I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta, that's what led me to Sex Pistols and Ramones. And eventually I watched this movie around the time too, to just like get my education.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, okay. So my last one, very interesting segue, because this band not only was from Los Angeles, but actually was featured in Decline of the Western Civilization. And this is another biopic, and the name of the movie was What We Do in Secret, and it is the story of Darby Crash and the Germs.
Nice.
Have you ever seen this one?
I'm trying to remember if I've seen this one. What a story, man, about is this? So this is acted by, okay. No, I haven't seen this. Have not seen this.
Okay. So this one came out in 2007 and was directed by Roger Grossman. But kind of low quality filmmaking, not in a bad way. But
just like on purpose, do you think? Like they're trying to give you the feel?
Possibly. But just a really good story.
Yeah.
If you know anything about the Germs, if you're a fan of the Germs or know anything about that,
I feel like if he hadn't, or if they had stayed together, and then if he hadn't passed away, we would have more good music. So
I think, like a lot of people, I could be completely wrong, but I feel like a lot of people didn't really know about this band except through Pat Smear,
right?
Who went on to play with Nirvana and Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
But he was the guitar player for the Germs, and I just I feel like
I saw a cool thing recently, and maybe it wasn't recorded recently, but I saw that he had sat down with some people from Fender Guitars to explain like how to play punk, and it's so funny, right? Because he's like, no, it's not punk unless it's all downstrokes. He's like very committed to that idea.
Yeah.
It's great. I'll look it up and send you this later. It's definitely like a YouTube.
Yeah, I want to see that. I want to see that. Cool. So that was another episode of Radio Unfriendly, and it's been a while. We put this off for far too long.
Yeah, we'll get back to the swing of things now that you're all moved and set up, and
we're all settled in, and
we're kind of past summer vacations now and all that stuff.
Yeah. So we'll try to put it out a little more regularly. But now, when we recorded the last episode, were we already a featured podcast on the Bad Copy?
I don't know, actually. I don't think
Yep.
we mentioned it.
I don't remember where. Yeah, so the Bad Copy is an online fanzine based out of Chicago, and we were and I mean I write for the Bad Copy. I do like news, just basically like news articles and stuff like that, and every once in a while I'll do like reviews and stuff like that. But they have featured podcasts, and I told Kendra, who is the editor about Radio Unfriendly, and she had actually already listened to the first episode and asked if we wanted to be one of the featured podcasts. So yeah, so
Awesome.
we're a featured podcast on the Bad Copy. Definitely check out that
That's
zine.
super exciting.
Yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, check it out at thebadcopy.com.
Yes. Cool, and we'll have a link to there in the show notes as well. And then I don't know what the topic of next episode will be, but I'm sure we'll have some really fun stuff to talk about.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. That's it for this episode of Radio Unfriendly. Thanks for listening, and come back next time.